Ladies and gentlemen, imagine standing still in the midst of all the chaos, just observing. In that stillness, you may notice the gentle pull of something deeper within. It's subtle yet profoundly powerful, an invitation from your spirit, asking you to return. To come back to what you value, to the dreams that once ignited your soul, to the peace that lies within. This process of coming back isn't about reinventing ourselves, it's about rediscovering and reconnecting with the authentic self that's been quietly waiting underneath the noise of life. We don't need to fight against the challenges we face, we need only to remember that each challenge is a teacher guiding us back to our true path. When we come back to ourselves, we don't resist life, we flow with it, meeting each experience with resilience and grace. This journey of return is a gentle one. It doesn't require drastic changes or grand gestures. It's the simple, conscious act of shifting our focus inward, releasing the need for approval, and embracing the quiet confidence that comes from knowing who we are. And as we align with our true nature, life opens up in new ways. Obstacles that once felt insurmountable become stepping stones, showing us insights we might have missed otherwise. So let today be a reminder to return. Return to the dreams you once held dear, to the inner peace that's always within reach, to the love and joy that connect us all. In choosing to come back to ourselves, we not only reclaim our lives, but we create a life that's filled with meaning, purpose, and the joy that comes from knowing we are finally, deeply, and truly at home.
Life is a journey, and part of that journey is experiencing times when we feel distant from our true selves. These are the moments when we might question our purpose, feel unsettled, or sense that we're somehow missing the mark.
But rather than seeing these times as mistakes or failures, what if we recognize them as invitations? Invitations to pause, to reflect, and to remember why we began this journey in the first place. I think of these moments as gentle nudges from the universe. They aren't there to punish or discourage us, but to prompt a kind of spiritual recalibration, a reminder to realign with the values and dreams that define us. It's as if life is saying, you may have strayed, but you are always welcome to come back, and in answering this call, we're given a precious opportunity to rediscover our purpose in a way that feels even more meaningful and fulfilling. When we lose sight of our true path, it's not a sign of weakness, it's simply part of the process of growth and transformation. Just like a river that curves and bends, our journey is never a straight line. And it's in these bends, these detours, that we often find the wisdom we were meant to learn. So embrace these moments of distance, not as signs that you're lost, but as invitations to come back to yourself, to your essence, and to the purpose that has always been within you, waiting for you to remember it. There is an inner voice within each of us, a quiet, unwavering presence that knows the truth of who we are. Yet, as we move through life, it's all too easy to lose touch with this voice. We get caught up in the busyness, the expectations, the noise that fills our days. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, we start to let our actions be guided by the world around us rather than by the wisdom within us. But this doesn't have to be the way. There is always a way back, a path that leads inward to the part of us that remains untouched by all of life's distractions. Listening to this inner voice doesn't require any special training or skill. It only asks that we pause, that we become quiet, and that we simply notice. When we turn our attention from the outside world and begin to listen to what is within, something remarkable happens. We begin to feel a sense of calm, of clarity. This is not the kind of clarity that comes from analyzing or overthinking. It's a deep, instinctual knowing, a feeling that rises up from the core of our being and assures us that we are exactly where we need to be. When we allow ourselves to listen, we reconnect with our essence. We begin to remember what matters to us, what brings us joy, and what gives our lives meaning. This inner voice has always been there, patiently waiting for us to return, to remember that our true guidance comes from within, not from the approval or expectations of others. When we listen to it, we are no longer pulled this way or that by every external force. Instead, we move with a calm confidence, knowing that each step we take is leading us closer to a life of purpose, peace, and authenticity. This act of listening, of tuning into our spirit's call, is one of the most powerful acts of love we can show ourselves. It is the reminder that no matter how far we've wandered, there is a quiet, steady voice within us that has never left, that is always ready to lead us back to the truth of who we are. And as we return to that truth, we find a sense of wholeness, a feeling of being fully alive, guided not by the world outside, but by the wisdom within. Returning to ourselves is not something we need to struggle or strive toward. Often we think that reconnecting with who we truly are must involve some dramatic change, a breakthrough, an upheaval, a grand gesture. But coming back to our essence isn't about forcing anything. It's about embracing a gentle shift, a soft, almost effortless redirection of our awareness. Think of it as a flower turning toward the sun. The flower doesn't have to push or strain to reach the light. It simply opens itself to it, naturally drawn to the warmth and energy it needs to grow. In the same way, we don't have to force ourselves back to our center. Instead, we simply need to turn our attention inward, allowing ourselves to reconnect with that quiet place of wisdom and peace within. When we let go of the urge to control or to make drastic changes, we begin to feel a profound sense of ease. This is because true transformation happens not through struggle, but through surrender. By releasing the need to constantly be doing and fixing, we create space to simply be. In this space, we can feel our authentic selves emerging like a calm lake after the ripples have settled. This gentle approach to realignment allows us to rediscover our path without judgment or pressure. It lets us see that we've never really lost ourselves, we've just been looking in the wrong places. There's no need to race toward the next goal, no need to check every box or meet every standard. Instead, there's only the subtle, beautiful act of returning to who we've always been. In these quiet moments of self-acceptance, we find that our true path reveals itself naturally. We don't have to grasp or reach for it. It comes to us as we open up to our own inner light. And as we embrace this gentleness, we realize that we can trust ourselves, that every step forward can be taken with a calm, steady confidence, guided by the quiet wisdom that has been within us all along. Real strength isn't found in resisting life's challenges or pretending we have it all together. It comes from our willingness to recognize when we've drifted off course and to respond with a gentle realignment toward our deeper values. This act of realignment isn't a sign of weakness. It's one of the purest forms of courage we can show ourselves. It takes courage to admit that we've been caught up in the noise, the expectations, or the roles we play, and to decide quietly, resolutely to return to what truly matters. Imagine standing at a crossroads, one path filled with all the distractions and demands of the world, pulling you in 1,000 different directions, and the other leading back to your heart, your truth. Choosing to turn down the path of authenticity may not look like the easiest route, but it's the one that brings you peace. It's the path that asks you to be honest with yourself, to reflect on the ways you may have drifted, and to trust that it's never too late to come back. This courage to realign, to choose what is meaningful over what is convenient, empowers us to reclaim our lives. By consciously returning to our values, we remind ourselves that we are not here to live according to someone else's script. We are here to live a life that resonates with who we truly are. Every time we realign with our core values, we build a foundation of integrity and resilience that no external challenge can shake. There is incredible freedom in recognizing that the journey isn't about perfection. It's about being open, honest, and willing to course correct when we need to. Each time we return to our values, we are essentially saying to ourselves, I choose to honor the truth within me. I choose to live in alignment with my heart, no matter how many times I may have been pulled away. In this way, every moment of realignment becomes an act of profound self-respect, a declaration that our path belongs to us and we alone are responsible for navigating it. This quiet courage, this strength to turn back to our values, becomes a guiding light that leads us through any storm. When we realign with what matters, life becomes less about surviving and more about thriving. It becomes a journey of joy, purpose, and deep, unwavering peace. And as we continue to walk this path, we discover that real strength is not found in never faltering, but in always finding our way back. Obstacles often feel like they're holding us back, stopping us from reaching our goals or disrupting the flow of our lives. But what if these very obstacles are precisely what we need to grow? What if each challenge, each setback is a necessary step in our journey, guiding us to assess where we are and where we're going? When we view life this way, every obstacle becomes a teacher, a guide helping us find deeper meaning and clarity. When an obstacle appears, it's tempting to resist it, to wish it away, or even to feel that life is being unfair. But these moments are often messages from the universe, signals that it's time to realign with our inner truth. Obstacles can prompt us to pause and reflect, to look within ourselves and ask, is this path still aligned with who I am? Am I still living in accordance with my values? They encourage us to check in to see if we're drifting off course or if we've become caught up in something that isn't truly meaningful to us. Rather than viewing challenges as disruptions, we can see them as moments of recalibration. They give us the space to step back and reconnect with our purpose, with the dreams that originally lit us up and guided us forward. Sometimes when life flows too easily, we can lose that sense of inner direction. It's in the moments of difficulty that we're given a chance to strengthen our commitment to our path, to refine our vision, and to renew our sense of purpose. Consider every obstacle as an invitation to grow stronger, more resilient, and more aligned with your true self. Each setback teaches us patience, endurance, and the art of letting go of what doesn't serve us. It reminds us that life isn't about avoiding challenges, but about embracing them as part of our growth. Obstacles are not walls, they're doorways, leading us to new levels of understanding and insight. They're reminders that life is not about reaching a final destination, but about who we become along the way. By shifting our perspective, we turn every setback into an opportunity to reconnect, realign, and move forward with greater clarity. These moments of challenge become moments of deep self-discovery, allowing us to live with more intention, authenticity, and peace. Through obstacles, we learn that nothing in life can truly derail us when we stay anchored in our values and connected to our purpose. Each step of the way, these challenges transform us, bringing us closer to a life of meaning, strength, and inner fulfillment. The journey back to ourselves isn't about adding more to our lives, it's about removing what no longer serves us. So often we carry beliefs, habits, and even relationships that weigh us down, obscuring our true essence. These attachments create clutter, making it difficult for us to see who we truly are and what truly matters. Realigning with ourselves isn't a process of accumulation, it's one of letting go, of releasing what no longer resonates with our spirit. Imagine your life as a beautiful garden. Over time, weeds can grow habits, fears, outdated beliefs. At first, they may seem harmless, but eventually they begin to crowd out the vibrant flowers and lush growth that represent your true self. Letting go requires courage because it asks us to release what has become familiar. Sometimes the beliefs or roles we've taken on have given us a sense of identity, even if they don't align with who we are now. But by gently peeling back these layers, we begin to uncover a more genuine, unburdened version of ourselves. It's not about erasing the past, it's about recognizing that just as seasons change, we too are meant to evolve. As we let go, we create space for something far more meaningful to enter our lives. We begin to feel lighter, freer, and more connected to our purpose. This openness invites clarity and peace, allowing us to embrace the present moment without the weight of yesterday's baggage. With each release, we reconnect with the core of who we are, unhindered and unmasked. In this space of simplicity, we find that our true essence emerges naturally. We realize that we were never defined by the things we carried, but by the presence we bring when we finally put them down. Letting go is not an end, it's a beautiful beginning, a return to the purity of our own spirit, where we're free to live, create, and love from a place of wholeness. Healing isn't a destination or a task to be checked off a list. It's a journey, one that invites us to walk through each day with a deeper awareness of ourselves and a gentler compassion for where we are. True healing doesn't mean that we will never feel pain, fear, or doubt again. It means that we learn to hold these experiences with grace, allowing them to exist without letting them define us. It is about discovering that beneath every hurt or wound lies a wellspring of strength and resilience waiting to be tapped into. Often we're taught to think of healing as a goal we must accomplish, as if there's a point where we'll be perfectly whole, never troubled or shaken. But healing is more like an unfolding, a peeling back of layers where we learn to accept and embrace each part of ourselves. We recognize that every experience, no matter how painful, has shaped us, and rather than trying to erase these experiences, we begin to honor them for the lessons they brought.
This process requires patience and self-compassion. Healing asks us to release judgment, to let go of the idea that we should be somewhere else, someone else. It encourages us to show up for ourselves fully, to listen to what our heart needs in each moment, and to respond with kindness.
This is not about becoming someone new, it's about remembering who we've always been underneath the layers of pain, fear, and expectation. As we heal, we start to see that the journey itself is the transformation. There is no fixed endpoint. Rather, healing is a continuous deepening into the truth of who we are. Each step forward becomes a step back to our essence, where we find that we're more resilient and capable of love than we ever thought. With each layer we shed, we reveal the light and wholeness that have been with us all along.
Healing is a sacred journey, one that calls for courage, patience, and an open heart. It's the journey back to ourselves, one gentle step at a time.
And as we walk this path, we find that our wounds become the very places where compassion grows, where understanding deepens, and where true strength is born. In this way, healing is not only a return. As we reflect on this journey of coming back to ourselves, it becomes clear that the path is as significant as the destination. Each step we take is infused with opportunities for growth, healing, and self-discovery. We learn that trusting ourselves is not merely a one-time decision, but a continuous practice, a daily commitment to honoring our inner voice and values. We find strength in the obstacles we face, recognizing them as teachers guiding us toward our true selves. The relationships we cultivate along the way serve as vital support systems, reminding us that we are never alone in our experiences. Through these connections, we discover the beauty of vulnerability and the power of shared joy, enriching our lives and the lives of those around us. We learn to appreciate the present moment, understanding that joy is not a future promise, but a gift available to us in every breath, every heartbeat. This journey invites us to embrace the fullness of life, recognizing that our struggles and triumphs are both essential parts of our story. It teaches us to approach life with curiosity and openness, understanding that the process of becoming is ongoing and ever evolving.